was just watching Peter Sellers. Any fans? The Party, Pink Panther. So this was a clip where Peter Sellers, he plays Inspector Clouseau, and he approaches a man who has a large dog, and he asks the man, "Does your dog bite?" That's just my Indian version of a French accent. And the man replies, "No, no, my dog don't bite." Peter Sellers reaches down and pats the dog, and woof, the dog bites him. "You said your dog don't bite." "Oh, that, not my dog." I'm sharing this with you because as leaders, our success depends on us challenging our assumptions. Because so often we think we're doing the right thing, yet, bam, we don't get the results. Is it because the bar keeps rising? You know how it's no longer good enough just to present? You have to do a TED Talk. You can't just be a chef. You have to be a master chef. And you can't just be crazy. You have to be the President of America. We've been chasing this lifting bar forever. For decades, business was all about surviving. In the 90s, it was all about striving. Cheaper, faster, harder, smarter. But today, it's all about thriving. Thriving people, thriving teams, thriving organizations. But what does thriving look like? Is it people shooting pool, relaxing on beanbags? Or is it watching Janine from accounts singing karaoke again? Money, 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 must be funny in a rich man's world. Janine. Is thriving celebrating failure? Sweden's just opened a new museum, a museum of failure. Have you heard of it? Can I have a show of hands? Their marketing is failing. They're so on brand. They showcase products that haven't worked. My personal favorite, a perfume by Harley Davidson. Turned out no one wanted the sweet aroma of motorbike fumes, road rage, and tattooed bikies. What does deep, rich, long-term thriving, what does that look like? To find out, I traveled to the thriviest nations in the world. I just made that word up, thriviest. I researched and I found the World Happiness Report. And in that report, 3 countries, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, bunched up in first place. We all know Denmark's secret. It's Princess Mary. In the World Happiness Report, there's a whole chapter. Dedicated to thriving at work. Now, we've all had happy moments, at work where you feel connected, like you matter. You're kicking big goals. But imagine feeling like that most of the time, just like the Scandinavians do. They even have a single word that describes all of those emotions: joy, connection, delight. And the word is, drum roll please, Hygge. I'm going to teach you how to say it, and then I'm going to share what it means. So we're going to split it up. Repeat after me. Who? Ga. Now we're going to put it together. So repeat after me. Hygge. Now we're going to say it 3 times together, but with like positive emotion. Hygge, hygge, hygge. Beautiful. Now you can all say hygge, just like an Indian. What does hygge mean? On Instagram, hygge has images of coziness, candles, cashmere. But hygge is really a way of living that embraces joy in small everyday experiences. A few Sundays ago, we dropped in to see friends, and it was one of those bitterly cold, freezing Melbourne Sundays, bucketing with rain. And we dropped in to see friends. They had a fire going. She served me some warm mulled wine with cinnamon. Conversation was flowing. We were laughing. I looked outside the window, and I saw rain streaking down the window pane. I looked back in, and I saw warmth, connection, togetherness, pure hygge. Hygge makes you feel warm on the inside. Just on my way here, I was walking past Town Hall, and on the side there's the staircase. And I saw a bunch of kids, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and they were squealing with delight and tearing up and down the staircase, hair flowing, rosy cheeks, gleaming eyes. And I just thought, pure hygge. Hygge can be that perfect cup of coffee. Hygge can be a place, but essentially hygge is an experience. It's an experience that helps you thrive. Hygge was even nominated for Word of the Year. Word of the Year is a fun thing. 2012, Word of the Year was omnishambles, total disaster. 2013, Word of the Year was selfie, still going strong. 2014, Word of the Year was vape, smoking an electronic cigarette. 2015 was a different kind of year. A year with a bit of swagger, a bit of sass. Couldn't even be bothered with a word. The #1 emoji all over the world except in France. We always knew the French were different. I wonder what the emoji is for. The tourists. 2016, hygge was nominated. Hygge was nominated, but post-truth won. Post-truth, favoring personal beliefs over the facts. We've all had those useless arguments with people on Facebook. But I'm so glad hygge didn't win, because hygge is not a trend or a fad. Bye, post-truth, wonder where you're now. Hygge is a timeless winner. It's been part of the Danish DNA for thousands of years. Hygge helps the Danes thrive. And hygge is so important that hygge even has an evil twin. Hygge's evil twin is hygge. Now, without looking at anyone, can I get you to say hygge? Guys, it needs more emotion. So I'm going to make a couple of statements, and I want you to go hygge, but you've got to feel it. Imagine you get an email, Monday morning's 30-minute meeting is now going to run all day. Getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Software system upgrade, you've got to change all your passwords and no repeats. Your next holiday is Adelaide. Hygge! This is an example from our cities. This is in Melbourne, where they've put up these bollards. Counter-terrorist measures, grey, ugly, concrete, pure hygge. This is like us in business, surviving, striving. We put out one bollard, then we put out another, and we put out another. We send one email. When we don't get a response, we do another and another. And then we get frustrated as leaders. We've put out all the bollards we need, but our people are not thriving. It's time to stop doing more of the same. It's time to do different. So along comes an artist and covers the bollards in these bright, bespoke, pop, handmade textiles, turning hygge into hygge, turning surviving, striving into thriving. How can we do the same at work as leaders? How can we bring hygge into work? You could bring in some candles, but the OHS police might have a view on that. The simplest yet most powerful way to hygge at work is through humor. But I'm talking about a new kind of humor. That old humor, joke telling, unprofessional, non-PC, that's all gone. I'm talking about a new kind of humor. It's called Hygge Humour. Hygge Humour lifts people up. Hygge Humour is gentle. It's emotionally friendly. It's warm. Hygge Humour helps us thrive in the 21st century. So what's an example? A few Fridays ago, I was flying Qantas back to Melbourne. Friday night, you know what it's like, business travelers, everyone's grumpy, getting on the plane. The cabin crew making all their safety announcements, and the cabin crew member says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we will be dimming the lights for takeoff. And also because it's much more flattering for our crew." Pure Hygge Humour. Hygge Humour. Hygge Humour is the missing piece in everything that we've tried over the last 70 years. Hygge Humour not only helps us bounce back, it helps us as leaders bounce forward. One of my clients, Dee, she was walking up the stairs to the stage to make a very important presentation. CEO, board, stakeholders. And on her way up, she tripped and fell. I know. She got up. She walks up to the microphone and she says, "Things can only get better." Everybody laughed, and there was even a smattering of applause. Dee used Hygge Humour to bounce forward, to turn something that was cringy, awkward, embarrassing into connection, delight, and laughter. We're so good at this in Australia. I remember when I moved to Australia many years ago from India, and I was thinking this is going to be different. You might know a lot of Indian people don't eat beef. And here I was moving to the barbecue capital of the world. The plane lands at Tullamarine Airport. I grab my luggage off the luggage carousel and I step out and I see this big dusty white ute. And across the back is a bumper sticker. And the bumper sticker says, "This is cattle country. Eat beef, you bastards." For us as leaders, Hygge Humour can help us thrive, and it can also give us thriving results. When you laugh, you trigger your rest and your recharge response. But you do that not only for yourselves, you do that for your team. Every time you laugh, it's like a micro holiday at work. A holiday in Paris, not Adelaide. So much better than drinking cocktails at your computer. I was on rsvp.com on the weekend, purely for research, 48 times. A few of you do look familiar. The number one thing everyone wants is a good sense of humor. And research backs this up. Dr. Bell of the Bell Leadership Institute tells us leaders who combine a strong work ethic with a sense of humor have the leading edge in their organizations. Hygge Humour can also give you thriving results. Has anyone flown Southwest Airlines? Southwest Airlines, their corporate motto is generate laughs. So if you're ever in a Southwest Airlines plane, so I was recently flying Southwest, and the flight attendant says, "Ladies and gentlemen, pushing your light bulb button will turn your reading light on, but pushing your call button won't turn your flight attendant on. Risque, but it works. Sadly, after 9/11, all the humor stopped. But then their office got flooded with emails, phone calls, letters, customers begging them to bring the humor back. And they did. Southwest Airlines is one of the few major profitable airlines in the world. And generate laughs is their corporate motto. Now, this Hygge Humour, you come to conferences like this for ideas. You're going, this Hygge Humour, humor that's gentle, that's uplifting, that's warm, that connects people, sounding like a good idea. But tomorrow, when you're back at work, the thought of using Hygge Humour. So what stops us? What stops us? Leaders all over the world tell me they have a bone-crunching fear. They think they are not funny. They say, I am not funny. Let's replace I am not funny with I'm learning to be funny. Leaders are learners. Leaders are learners. We're so good at learning. You know how when you're in a meeting and you're thinking, oh, what's for dinner? But then you've learned to do your I'm listening face. You go, We're learners. So can you turn to the person next to you and go, I'm learning to be funny. Do it twice. I'm learning to be funny. I'm learning to be funny. And the good news with learning to be funny, the good news is the bar is so low in business. You only have to be slightly funny. So much of business communication is ho-hum. When have you eagerly downloaded a form or shivered with excitement? Yet another meeting. Yet, the minute we think of using humor, we think we have to be hilarious, like stand-up comedians who are full-time professionals. That's what they do for a living. I was listening to Ellen DeGeneres, and she was saying, it's never too late to exercise. My grandmother started walking 5 miles a day when she turned 60. 5 miles a day when she turned 60. She's 97 today. She's 97 today, and we have no idea where she is. Now, Ellen's a full-time comedian. She's got a team of talented writers who write stuff for her. But between hilarious and ho-hum is our safe playground. It's the sweet spot for Hygge Humour. Hygge Humour is a heart handshake. So Hygge Humour can lift people up. It can be gentle, and it can help us all thrive. 3 quick tips for you to get going with Hygge Humour. My first tip, it always starts with a smile. As leaders, you can't fill from an empty cup. So is there a bounce in your step? Is there a twinkle in your eye? Is there a smile on your lip? So often we think, when I'm happy, I'll smile. When I'm happy, I'll smile. But research tells us, smile first. And even if it's fake, it floods your body with endorphins and it lifts your dopamine levels. Now I want you to try this. Turn to the person next to you and I want you to do a big fake smile. But don't be creepy, yeah? You've got to get it just right. Let's do a big fake smile. My second tip to you is to find the funny in your world. If you're an inner city living, latte sipping hipster, that's your world. My friend Gail, she's from Millicent in South Australia, and she says, I'm from Millicent in South Australia. Millicent is not the edge of the world, but from Millicent, you can see the edge of the world. Even your name can be funny. When I put my name into my phone, it always autocorrects Yamini to yeah. So I was sending a customer a text saying, thank you so much for booking my workshop. I'm really looking forward to working with you. Yeah. And my third tip for you, you don't have to create humor. You have to curate it. So look around when you see a funny quote. There's a funny customer anecdote. A friend sends you a funny meme. Put it into your funny file and start to use it. All my friends are on Funny Alert. They always send me all their funnies. I love sending GIFs. Does anyone use a lot of GIFs? You know, the little video GIFs on your phone? So my friends send me a little meme and it says, is it GIF or is it GIF? If God came down and said, it is GIF, I would say, thank you, Jod. I want you now to travel back with me to the 1990s. Remember the 1990s? You couldn't get on the internet if someone was on the phone. You were like, get off the phone! Every time you tried to connect with the internet made noise. But you would never lose your phone because your phone was connected to the wall. So I was watching a little clip from a 1990s film, Dumb and Dumber, where Jim Carrey is asking the woman that he loves out. And he says, come on, what are my chances? Not good. Not good like 1 in 100? More like 1 in 1,000,000. You're telling me I have a chance. Yeah! And that's what Hygge Humour can do for you as leaders. It can make you 1 in 1,000,000. Thank you so much. Thank you, Harry.